Welcome back to MMG. Today, we will be looking at an NFT for the most sophisticated art collectors. This one-of-a-kind exceptional piece represents today's modern age, the 21st century of Western civilization and how far it has come. You can find this at Rebel, where you could purchase this for 69 ETH, Ethereum that is, for this one-of-a-kind Peter's Eggplant. Alright, yeah, I made this. I did it. I am a piece of shit. Well, no, it's a joke. So, please don't bet on this. You could buy it out for 69 ETH. Don't do it. Unless you're a millionaire. There is actual value, I think, behind this. I mean, to get the lighting right, to take this picture of a duct tape eggplant to a wall, it was actually some work. But, I don't know, it might cause some, a marketing opportunity, a buzz around, making fun of Peter Schiff, or, just poking fun at him. And he doesn't care, trust me. He would probably think it's funny as well. But, if you guys understand, how did I think of this? Well, remember when that banana that was duct taped to a wall sold for, $120,000? I think it was an art exhibit in Miami. Yeah, and then that guy ate it. He just walked up to the wall, took it off, and ate it. That was hilarious. And that's why, I thought this was brilliant, so I made it. I'm like, I have to make this. And I was hoping, I tagged Elon Musk. I was hoping he would buy it just to, take a crack at Peter. Like $120,000 worth of ETH for Elon is nothing. It's like literally pocket change. It's like losing a nickel or something to him. And I thought he might actually buy it just to make fun of Peter. And Peter would have fun with it. And, it would cause probably some buzz around Twitter and the internet if someone actually purchases. But of course, guys, relax. Everyone would hate me if I actually did sell this because it's ridiculous, right? But nonsense. I never get easy money, ever. Like, ever. I can never make money off of nonsense. It just doesn't happen in my, universe or reality. For me, at least. So don't worry. I don't think anyone's going to purchase this. Only millionaires should even look at this. If you do not buy this, if it's like the only money you have or something, there's a good chance it's really worthless. The only reason anyone would buy this would be to, get some attention to themselves, right? Or as a joke if you're a billionaire. Anyways, yeah, I made this. It's pretty funny, I think. You would get the original picture without the copyright stickers all over it. So, only one of a kind. I did destroy the other copies of it, so. Alright, so, man, there's a lot to talk about. I actually took some notes, so this might be a good video. I can't make any promises. My last video, I didn't do very well. Sometimes I sound like an idiot. I really do. It's usually because I'm tired. I didn't take notes. I always have, OBS, deletes all of the audio, this and that. I have to mess around with that for 2 hours, and then I'm ready to do the video, and then I forgot everything I was going to talk about. But that hasn't happened so far. So, these NFTs are indicative of a massive bubble. I mean, they're just pictures, right? They're just internet pictures, GIFs, and people are spending $69 million for these things. It's a bubble. We have NFTs, SPACs, tweets, Reddit pump and dumps. Altcoins are back, shitcoins, and rug pulls in the crypto space, where exchanges go down, people just lose all their crypto on exchanges. Like, it's back. All the bubbles are back. The insanity is back. And, you know, people will look back on today, and they'll be like, what were they thinking? I mean, NFTs are like worse than tulips. Or maybe not. I don't know. SPACs. What are SPACs? It's celebrity stocks or IPOs. Ridiculous. It's just nonsense. You can sell tweets for thousands and millions of dollars. Tweets. Like, who cares? Then, of course, what happened with Reddit. And then the shitcoins are back. I just see people talking about worthless altcoins nonstop. They can't help themselves. They're like, yeah, this would be a next 100x, whatever. No. Listen, I've been through all of it. And 99% of people are going to just lose all their money again. That said, there's only one altcoin I think is going to outperform everything out there. Like the next big thing. And that's for private members. It's already, from the low, it went up like 350x. That means 3,500%. Or no. Yeah. No. That's 35,000. Shit. Alright, well, you know, let's take a look at it. Alright, here it is. So, now I was talking about this and hinting towards it before it even launched. It launched in beginning of 2020. And I was talking about it down here, like in the private group. Like, you should take a look at this, at least get it by a little bit. And if you would have bought a little bit, it'd be worth a lot more right now. Like if you would have like dumped maybe only $1,000 into it, yeah, I mean this thing went up from its all-time low. It did. Jesus. It did 25. That's a lot. 257,000% from its all-time low. And then it's even more than that because you would have gotten a bonus if you bought like the first year. It's too late to get that bonus. And that bonus was actually a lot. Like it was like 50%. So it's actually more than that. It's like a 30. It's life-changing stuff, right? But yeah, this could go much higher. It's just the beginning. And there's a lot of new developments coming out. And everyone's hiding it. Nobody talks about it. Everyone's scared to talk about it. And they're gatekeeping. And the reason they're gatekeeping is because I think all the other cryptos are scared. And yeah. I mean, this versus what? I'll talk about this later, but whatever. So, let's get back to current events and what's going on. Anyways, I do need to mention this for the private members. I raised the monthly rate for the private group. It's $20 now. And that's just because I'm ahead of what's coming. I like to be ahead of what's coming, right? Yeah, a cup of coffee or one meal at a fast food restaurant will be like $20 pretty soon. Probably this time next year, easily, if not more. So yeah, I'm just ahead of the game here. And what I do is actually worth it, because I'm trying to save you. I mean, if that's too much, then yeah, get out of here. But I uploaded a spreadsheet of a bunch of silver mining stocks with some info on them, articles, this and that. I also added a brand new IPO, a royalty streamer. It's getting in on the ground floor. Like, nobody even knows about it yet. And that's what's important, is being first. Okay? Like, being first and accumulating as many shares as humanly possible is how you get rich. That's the secret. That's the big secret. It's just getting as many shares or even cryptos as humanly possible. And most people just can't understand that. And most people don't have patience. The best thing Warren Buffett, best quote he ever said, was, money is transferred from the impatient people to the patient people. Same goes with Bitcoin. Bitcoin. If you just bought in 2010 and did absolutely nothing and just held until right now, that would have been the best strategy. I mean, trying to, maybe you would have traded it just once, took profits in 2017, and then bought back, and just made that one trade. That would have, you would be like a billionaire, multi-billionaire. And your initial investment could have been very small, like $10,000 or something. Like, again, like this, right? This is how you get rich. I mean, if you buy here, it's very simple. This is how simple it is. And I swear to God, most people just don't get it. This is why you want to buy a little bit in the beginning, even if you're not sure how it's going to work out. Oh, I don't have that on this. Okay, well, if you would have just bought around here, where this yellow circle is, you would have accumulated the most amount of shares versus buying over here somewhere, right? So let's say you were late to the party a little bit. You're still not late in the grand scheme of things. This would be like the equivalent of buying Bitcoin at like under $1 versus buying it now around $3 in the grand scheme of things. That's how I'm viewing this. But the difference is huge. Difference is, if you bought back there, right now you're sitting at like a 12,000% gain. So let's say you were a little bit late and you bought this dip where I told everyone to buy this dip over here. I also told them to buy this dip. Now it's only up, for you, it's only up 46% or 100%, something like that. Instead of 12,000%. That's the difference. Now, fast forward, let's say 3 years, this thing goes to $3. Buying it right now would be this equivalent of buying it, let's say, down here. Because linearly, these charts always go to the right and up. And they're going to probably for the next 5 years, because they're going to keep printing more money. They can't stop. They won't stop. They've already committed to it. It's already too late. They have to keep going. So, and this thing's going to suck all the capital out of all these shitcoins and Ethereum, all of them. Even Bitcoin. Alright? That's what I'm hoping. I can't make promises. That's what I'm hoping. I wouldn't invest much into this, but maybe a little could go a very long way. Like, if you would have listened to me, and I don't think anyone did. This was like, maybe, there was only like one guy or there's like 2 guys who've messaged me and they're like, "Oh my god, thank you for bringing it up. I just took your word for it and I bought some, and it's up massively." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But everyone else was like, "No, it's dumb," or they just didn't listen. They didn't take it seriously. Okay, well, you missed out on life-changing gains. Now, you didn't miss out if you could wait another 3 years or whatever. And then there's more on top of that. The way it works, it's really built well, in my opinion. And they're gonna build it, and it's already done. It's already built. It's the only crypto actually that's built, that's finished. They're just gonna do an extra thing to it, which gives it more independence and security, and it'll trade separately from the rest of the cryptos, which is beautiful if Bitcoin and Ethereum go into a bear market and the rest and the shitcoins die again, like in 2017. All right. And let me show you guys what's silver. Okay, so another thing that really makes me angry, it doesn't make me angry. It's annoying. The Bitcoin maximalists and all these crypto people. Okay, how well did Bitcoin perform this year? And I see it all over Twitter. They're making fun of Schiff. Like, it's still 1,700 gold. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, Bitcoin performed the best out of everything in the world. But if you didn't buy it under $1, it didn't for you. I mean, I guess if you bought it under $100, yeah, it made you super rich. If you buy it at 1,000, you did a 56x, right? A 5,600% return. Now, if you bought it in the March low here, that would have been the best buying opportunity. And I literally posted, even in the free newsroom, the link is below. People don't join because they're too lazy to add an app to their phone. It's like the next big platform in the world. It's better than all the other social media platforms. I was ahead on that too. I was in it like 5 years ago when it first came out. All right, or 4 years ago. I don't know. And you get the most freedom of speech there too. That's where I actually talk more. But here I really bite my tongue. And if you're not in there, you're not getting the full picture. If you only watch my YouTube videos, you're not getting the full picture. Anyways, yeah, so from the March low, Bitcoin went up 1,600% to its all-time high. Right now it's around like a 15x. Sweet, 15x. I think Ethereum did like a 22x. From the March low. And I told the people in the private group I'm buying some Ethereum. Yeah, it did a 22x. Okay. Let's take a look at a Tesla. Did Tesla outperform both of them? Why is this not Tesla? It says Tesla. Oh. Alright, here's Tesla. Let's put on the weekly. Or no, I don't have to. From the March low, Tesla from that low to its all-time high did a 24x. It did even better than Ethereum. So all the bragging I see is kind of annoying. Let me show you guys a silver miner. Alright, here's a silver miner from the March low in 2020, from the Koof crash. It rallied It did a 20x around there. A 20x. Now, here's the thing. You want to buy these shares when they're super, super cheap. Because, you know, it went from like 5 cents to $1.36. But in the commodity bull cycle, and when silver finally breaks above $30 and runs to $100, $150, these shares could easily end up being like over $20, over $50. Now the difference, now imagine buying these shares at 5 cents and holding it to $50 a share versus buying it now at 75 cents. All right, let's say you buy it now at $1. And then the stock, in the end, runs to $50. You did a 50x. 50x, right? 50,000% gain. That's awesome. I mean, that a lot of people will be happy with that. Let's say you put $1,000, you bought 1,000, you invested $1,000 worth, right? At $1 a share, and it ran to $50 a share. You made $50,000 or $49,000 in profit, right? Okay. What if you bought it at 5 cents and you invested $1,000? What's the difference? All right, what's the difference? Well, if you buy 1,000 shares with $1,000, if the share price is $1, you get 1,000 shares. If you would have bought it at that low, when it was 5 cents a share, you could have bought 20,000 shares. What's the difference? The difference is when it goes to $50, let's say all-time high, and you actually catch the all-time high and sell it, the difference is buying 1,000 shares for $1,000. You take a profit. You get a profit, right, of 49,000 or 50,000. It's worth 50,000. But if you would have invested that $1,000 when it was 5 cents a share, and you take profits of $50 a share, it's worth 1 million. That's the difference. That's why chasing the next hot thing is not how to get rich. How to get rich is to be buying the things that nobody's paying attention to, and accumulating silver and gold and commodity-based rare earth metals, stocks and shares. Because, and I started buying them in 2015. Again, I mean, I first started buying in like 2009. Took profits around 2012, 2011. And then we went to a bear market, and then I started accumulating back in 2000. Well, I'll even say 2014 and 15, and I've been holding on ever since. I've been holding on to some shares in my portfolio for 6 years. And you guys don't have patience for 6 months? Yeah, that's why I'm not a broke pleb, and you are. Because I have the patience. Okay? And a lot of people don't have patience because they don't have a lot of money. They're like, I need the money now. I need to go buy a house now. I need to go buy the car now. Yeah, don't we all? I mean, you got to make sacrifices. Like, most of my life I never even had health insurance. I made sacrifices. You think I didn't make sacrifices? I'd rather be under a bridge than sell my portfolio and my investments right now. Literally. I'm dead serious. I'd live in a tent with one of those fire, cans under a bridge. Then be forced to sell my stocks and everything that I've accumulated and been hoping to really cash out on. And that's the mentality you need to have. So, and I've learned a hard lesson with cryptos because I really never believed in them. I'm like, what is this? What is this vaporware. All right. So, and I've learned the hard lesson because let's just say I don't want to say anything. All right. So, I think you guys get the point, right? You guys get the point. This is a silver miner. And if you look at it right now, if you missed out on this opportunity, right? If you missed out to buy that March low, and you had this opportunity to get these crazy gains, this entire move up, well, you missed out. It is what it is. And again, that was what, a 21x? Okay, so it's retraced. Currently, it pulled back 45%. That's a pretty nice dip. It's an awesome dip buying opportunity. If it goes any lower, it's an even greater dip buying opportunity. If, in the long term, you're expecting this thing to go over $10 a share, or even more. Silver goes over $150. The physical metal, I guarantee you this stock will go over $20 a share. It's no brainer. And this is just one out of I've researched hundreds. In the private group, there's 50 or 60 or something. I know my personal portfolio has over 105. I'm holding 105 mining company shares. I mean, a lot of them I threw a couple $100 in a bunch of them. But if you hold them for 5 years, a couple $100 starts turning into a couple thousand, and eventually tens of thousands, and then towards the peak, blow off top of the bubble, because there will be a bubble in gold and silver. It will be hundreds of thousands. You never know. Anyways, I'm not making any promises. This is what I'm thinking and theorizing and seeing in the future, because I am personally preparing for basically hyperinflation. And it's coming, I think. Consult your financial licensed advisor before doing absolutely anything. I'm just some guy on the tube, on TV, some random guy. You don't know who I am. Consult your licensed financial advisor. But this is what I think is the way to play this. Oh, 2 weeks ago we bought an oil stock, a penny oil stock. It went up 5x. It retraced today and yesterday. I'm gonna buy a little more because it could go from I don't remember exactly how much we bought. Oh, we bought it for 11 cents. Ran up to 55 cents, something like that. It pulled back now to 35 cents. I'm expecting it to maybe go to $5, $10, maybe 20. I don't know. I see $150 a barrel crude. I really do. If everything works out, it is in a kind of a risky area or region. But, if they come out with some announcements and they start pulling oil out of the ground, and it's right by the Chinese New Silk Road, they're going to need it. Yeah. 11 cents to $20. You only have to throw a couple $100 into it or to see, life-changing gains. And you only throw a small amount because they are risky. They're always all risky. But sometimes you find these needles in a haystack. And I just want to talk about that. So all the people who don't want to pay $20 for the private group a month. Okay. And I just I added another one to the private group. In the end, I'm going to close the private group because I don't need it. So, alright, what else to talk about? Alright, let's talk about inflation, because I keep getting investors messaging me. Alright, let's talk about inflation. Let me check if my volume's still working. It's working. Alright, so look at this picture. Here we have the Sith Lord and we have Dark Vader. And he's signing the 1.9 trillion. Now add that 1.9 trillion to all the trillions that were, spent or created out of thin air last year during the Orange Man era. It's over 40%. Okay, so all dollars ever created, ever, 40% were created in the past 12 months. Oh, there's not going to be inflation. Okay, I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, lumber is up like hundreds of percent. It costs like 24. It costs around $25,000 more to build a home right now. That's inflation. BlackRock says gold failing as equity hedge faces risks. They only put out these headlines when they're trying to scare people out of the metals market. Okay? Meanwhile, they're probably buying. Actually, they are, because I have software where I could see who buys what, the institutions. I can see them buying mining stocks. So I know it's bull. Goldman does it all the time. It's like their thing. All right. Hydrogen fuel cells, guys. That's the future. Yeah, here we go. Soaring lumber prices add 24,000 to new construction build. And this is the free newsroom for everyone. And if you're in the private group, you should be in here as well. Because this is where I just post all day, every day, to keep you guys up to speed. You don't have to read anything. You just read the headlines. There's literally war games going on. Like, listen. The Pacific region it's hot. It's warming up. China probably wants Taiwan, so I don't think I don't think we're even going to intervene, to be honest. But that is very bullish for metals, super bullish, because it's destabilizing the world. And of course, the Mideast, the sandbox. It's always, Anyways, another thing, the third largest holder of physical metals, gold, is the IMF. A bureaucratic, unelected, on its own, doesn't even have a nation. Why do they have the third largest holding, and where did that all come from? I have a feeling it came from the number one holder, which is the US, but probably not even anymore. It's probably really China. So, interesting, right? Now, I remember back in like 2015 or something, or 14, maybe it was 13, Germany wanted their metal back, and we wouldn't give it back to them. But they finally got it back. Yeah, so just this last stimmy check that was passed out, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you got a fraction of the money that was created. $1,400. The stimmy check cost every American like 5,700. You're getting only 1,400. Well, anyways, 1.9 trillion is bigger than the annual economy of Italy, Canada, Russia, and South Korea. Put that into perspective. And South Korea makes a lot of things too. Oh, this is pretty cool. Elon Musk's what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but the Starlink. You can get Wi-Fi anywhere in the world. It's pretty cool if you want to live out in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty much what I want to do. Listen, guys. I mean, Western men are living in their parents' basement, whacking it all day, demasculating themselves, and then living in a virtual reality, trading virtual assets. That's not going to end well. Anyway, it's not. All these people are super dependent on this system. you want to you don't want to be around when these people have to wake up to reality and actually have to build real life skills like, I don't know, welding, carpentry, fixing things, making things, engineering, real jobs, machining, manual labor. And I talk about robot. By the way, you should go in the newsroom and read this. This was prolific to my what I think of what's going on with this clown world. Why it's so crazy and none of it makes sense. And how could anyone plan all this? I pretty much laid it out right here. But I'm not gonna say it. You know. So fact versus fiction. Understatement of housing inflation exceeds bubble levels. Yeah, I mean the housing market right now is already past the previous housing mortgage-backed security bubble. You should watch The Big Short. Great movie. It's like my favorite. Another one was Margin Call, and then there was a few more. Some good, really good documentaries out there. Ask me if you want to know about all of them. If you want to watch something like that. Tom Cruise is selling his mansion in the woods, one of his homes, right? His luxury cabin for $39 million at a loss, 33% loss. I wonder why. What else? All right, since February, 22.5 million ounces of silver has been withdrawn from the COMEX in New York. That's a lot. That's a lot for just 1 month. Because they don't really have, I don't think, because it's all derivatives, guys. I mean, they just have like one pallet there, and then they put a bunch of stickers on it, or they mark them down. Okay, 100 people own this. It's fractional. And if you understand that, then you would understand why the premiums on silver is like over 30% right now if you were to go buy a coin. So the price of silver right now is, on the paper market, on the futures, it's $26. It's over $30 if you really want to go buy a physical coin right now of silver, an ounce. Gold is also at a 20% premium. So it's like around $17.30 right now. Okay, well, when you go to buy a real 1 ounce physical coin, it's going to cost you $200 over spot because there's a premium. And that's because they have a hard time finding them. And that's just for small buys, like 1 ounce or just like 20 or 50 ounces of silver. You can't, if you want to order like 1,000 ounces or 1,000 ounce bar or, a large quantity, you're on a 3-month minimum wait list. So you give them the money now, and then you're going to have to wait 3 months to receive delivery of it. And that's as of now. They could extend that even further out. So if it's that bad now, imagine how bad it's going to be when they have to push the yield curve back down through Operation Twist, yield curve control, which I talked about in my last video. And let's say they do the infrastructure spending in the next few months, spring and summer. And then on top of that, if we get some sort of market correction that's over 15%, then they're going to do more stimulus. And they're talking about UBI. So 3 months from now, 4, 5, 6 months from now, and the economy's opening up, at least in the U.S. and eventually around the world because people are pissed. And I've been going out. I see everyone, they're not even wearing it anymore. So the economy's going to, we're going to get a boom this summer in the economy. Velocity of money is going to pick up. You're not going to be able to find physical all summer, probably. That's what I'm thinking. Because if there's a shortage now, just wait till they lose control on the paper market side of this. I'm thinking this spring and summer. Then what's that theory? When the price keeps going up, people want it even more because they can't find it. Well, yeah, that's going to play out. But people keep arguing with me, like, no, it's going to be deflation, milkshake theory. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. You don't understand if you believe that, because they can't let yields go any higher. If they do, the market tanks. If the market tanks, it's going to cost them even more money printing to stop it from tanking. So in effect, metals we're going to get inflation, and metals are going to go even higher. Can there still be a 15 to 30% correction in the equity markets, causing a margin call? And whenever there's a margin call and there's a huge dip in equities, the institutional banks will smash metals because it's the weakest. Because a lot of people are getting margin calls and they have to sell their metals with everything else. And then they take that opportunity to manipulate the market, right? And they do it. They do it. I believe. I'm not making any accusations of any individual company, but that's what I believe, and I've been watching this for like a long time now. I don't even know since when. So, yeah, I mean, guys, they're stuck. Lagarde just did more QE and is pushing for even more negative interest rates. When the EU and the ECB does stimulus, yeah, it's only in hundreds of billions, but it's not. But their market is less illiquid, and euros aren't used around the world like dollars. So when they do hundreds of billions, that's like equivalent of a couple trillion for the U.S. when they do stimulus. So you understand. And China's doing the same thing, and so is every other country. All right. What is this? Alright. Very simple. I am a contrarian. I'm a swing trader, contrarian, and I believe commodities in the long run are going to run much higher. If you were with me since 2018, you've already seen some amazing gains. The train, the last caboose of the train, is literally about to leave, I think. And this is why. As asset classes are going into bubbles, what asset class is not in a bubble and is not look, asset class total returns over the last 10 years. What do you feel safer in? Things that are making all-time highs, have been ripping higher and higher and higher, or do you want to be in something that everyone needs, commodities, and have been underperforming for a decade? It's very simple. You want to be where nobody is before everyone gets there. And that's how you see your stocks rise. Right? So the best performer is cryptos, then the NASDAQ, then large cap, S&P 500, and then US small caps, and then the list goes down, right? Even bonds have outperformed, I guess, the commodity sector. Gold and cash and commodities are very last. Now, I do not think cash is going to perform very well, even though the milkshake theory deflationistas keep arguing with me. I think they just keep arguing with me because they have a position on. And if I'm right and they're wrong, not only are they going to lose money, but they're going to miss out on making a lot of money. I'm more afraid of not catching the next rally in mining stocks and commodity stocks. Because if you miss out the initial rally, you're going to miss out on the biggest portion of the wealth transfer. Because when this thing breaks, in a few weeks, within like 3 weeks, you're going to make the most money And if you're on the wrong side of the trade, you're gonna lose money and you're gonna miss out on the initial rally. It could be very big, right? And very fast. So I'm more afraid, like I'm not afraid of my mining stocks dropping another 10, 20%. I don't care. Whatever. I'll buy more. What I'm afraid of is they rally 200% in 3 weeks. That's what I'm afraid of. So I don't want to risk missing out on that. I'd rather take a 30% drawdown on my entire account than miss out on the initial rally of when silver breaks above $30 and just keeps running and running and they can't stop it, and gold breaks above 2,000 and keeps running to like 3,000. Because the mining stocks are going to be just doing like 100% moves in like a couple days. Like one day, 100%. Day 2, 50%. Day 3, 30%. And that's what they're going to just keep doing for like a couple weeks. The initial rally. I do not want to miss out on that. That's my thinking. That's my logic. I could be wrong. Again, I still have my account hedged. I do believe if anything happens, volatility is going to really pick up. And that's like the hedge on my account, the volatility. Because you could long volatility, right? Now, what nobody is expecting is, where is it? What nobody is expecting is kind of like a 2000 dot-com bubble popping. So the NASDAQ might correct and kind of fall into a bear market. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 and the Dow keep rallying. Well, how's that possible? It happened back in 1999 till 2001, right? Because obviously the tech companies are definitely in a huge bubble. And now the economy's opening back up, and the last thing people want to do is kind of be stuck in their homes watching TV or being online, this and that, unless their day job is now trading, because a lot of people's is, because now they're going to get their welfare checks, their UBI, their stimmies. And believe me, this isn't the last. There'll be more stimmies. That's not enough to keep the angry crowd away. So the market's, I don't think anyone's expecting the NASDAQ to fall into a bear market while the S&P and the Dow keep ripping higher because there's a commodity super cycle and infrastructure spending build out. Now, here's what's funny. Nobody's expecting that. I'm saying it's a possibility. As of right now, I don't know what's exactly going to happen. I just know that by midsummer, I think metals are going to be higher. Like gold and silver physical is going to be all-time high, and the mining stocks are going to be ripping higher, just like they did it in 2020. All right, so here's what's kind of interesting. They want to raise taxes because there's a huge deficit. Why? They're not going to generate any more income if they do that. By the way, you need to understand something. The higher taxes go, the less people work, and the less money's made overall. So revenues actually drop. They actually drop. Now, you know what's funny, right? So right now they're like, oh, we'll only raise them on people who make over $400,000, like a couple who makes over $400,000 a year. And most people don't make that much, right? Okay, well, what if 4 years from now, someone who makes $50,000 right now a year, well, they're going to get a lot of pay increases because of inflation, and they'll be making $500,000 a year. But in today's money, it's really still only $50,000 in value. But now you're just getting taxed more on top of it. Like someone who works at fast food, right? I don't know how much they make. They probably make like $15,000 a year. Well, 3-4 years from now, they might be making like $120,000 a year. Oh my God, how's that possible? Because of inflation. Because we might actually get stagflation or runaway inflation. Maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe they'll raise they're raising the minimum wage. That's why they're raising it. Perfect example. But in reality, they're going to get replaced with robots and like whatever. So what else? All right, let's look at the DXY. That's like one of the biggest arguments. The DXY, man. The DXY. Okay, what is the Dixie? What is it? It's a basket of fiat. Well, it's the dollar versus all the other fiat currencies in the world. Is everyone printing fiat currencies like they're crazy? Yes. Is all fiat currencies around the world falling in value versus physical assets, energy, and commodities? Yes. Yes. Here's the DXY. And, they're saying it can run up to 95. No, it can't. First of all, it's never going to break the 200-week moving average. I think the milkshake theory is over. It was last year, man. That's old news. When the repo thing was happening in 2019 into 2020, that was this was your milkshake theory. You know what's funny? Gold went up, and so did silver during the dollars was rising in 2020. So they're not really they're not always correlated. Just because they were correlated in the past doesn't mean they're going to continue to be correlated. Previous performance does not guarantee future results. Just a disclaimer on everything for that exact reason. And the reason I believe that is because, well, everyone's printing. And why would the dollar go up if they're going to do infrastructure spending, UBI, more stimmies? If the market corrects even more than 15%, Fed's going to panic, do more stimulus. They have to print more every month. They're doing QE right now. They're printing hundreds of billions every month. They're going to have to raise that to keep the 10-year yield curve down. The only reason the dollar bounced here was because the 10-year bounced or spiked. Because something broke. Like I warned, something was going to break. Another reason, tomorrow there's an FOMC meeting with Powell. He's going to be super dovish. Super. Why? Because last time I guess he wasn't dovish enough. And the bond market called bluff. And that's why for 10-year yield spiked. And that's why the dollar caught a bid. But this is really a dead cat bounce. It's a bearish pennant if you want to look at it TA-wise. It's a bearish pennant. That's all it is. That's a bearish pennant. This will be what? A bearish pennant. Boom. Down she goes. So I think the dollar by, I don't know, midsummer could be at the 89 handle. I mean, this is not even, there's no momentum behind this little bounce. Everyone's like, look at the dollar strengthening. Like, what are you talking about? Talk to me if it gets back above the 200-week moving average. Until then, this looks weak to me. It's not one of these moves. This is different. Look at these candles. The moves on them. This is one candle. It was 1 week of just major momentum to the upside, and then it just lost steam. Listen, Powell's going to be a dove tomorrow. It's actually an important FOMC, and it'll be because he doesn't want yield spiking again, so he's scared of that, so he's going to be a super dove. Although the funny thing is, that's what's going to cause yields to spike. But he's going to talk about Operation Twist, which I alluded to before. I'm like, they're going to do something like that again. And they're going to do yield curve control. And they're going to do what Europe's been doing. We're going to have nominal negative yields. And listen, they can't let the housing market and all this pop. Because once it does, they can't reinflate it, and it's party's over. And it's the greatest Great Depression ever. I think they're going to buy themselves more time. And that's what I think. What else? Yeah, so the summer, I do think everyone's been cooped up. Everyone just wants to go on vacations and party. And here we go. It's hard. They ran it out last. They're testing the waters with media here, and they're talking about it already. And most people are all about it. I guarantee you, there's going to be you got to take the ticket if you're going to get free cash for. There's going to be a catch. Like, I don't know what it'll be, but there's going to be a catch to taking the free money, which isn't free. You're paying for it out of future purchasing power, or you're taking it from your neighbor who works harder than you. That's why moral decay of society is systemic, and it's top-down feature from the central planners. That's why everything is morally corrupt, and it's top-down, man. And everyone's kind of going along with it because everyone depends on the system. They feel like it's unfair. Well, life's not fair. This is what happens to empires, So, expect... Oh, dude. So when everyone's going to be out and about all summer and traveling, this and that, that's going to push gas prices even higher. And watch mainstream media blame it on that. They're like, well, there's been pent-up demand because people haven't been traveling and doing everything for the past year since, March of 2020, and there's just all this pent-up demand, and now it's being released, so the prices are going higher. They're going to say that all summer. When in reality, yeah, that's on time. There is some truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that, actually. But it's not just that. It's also the value of the dollar going down versus oil. So I'm looking at more oil stocks, this and that, and yeah. Smash some likes. Leave anything in the comment section. Go to my website. One-time fee that you see on the website, and then $20 a month should pay for itself. All the education you get. One of the best lines from a self-development book I ever heard was, the amount of money you invest in your education will be repaid in 3 years' time, or 2 years' time, or even 1 year's time, in your wage, in how much money you bring in at work or your business. And that is true. I've actually noticed that. So I forgot the exact equation. It was like, if you spend 30% of your wages on self-development and education, you double your wages every 2 years or something like that. Something crazy like that. Or, it goes up 50% or 100%. There's like a model to it. It's... I haven't experienced that exactly, but it's sort of true. It's true enough, right? I've never actually spent that much. How much money I make on self-education, it's like impossible. But, the amount of time you spend on it and money, you get it back. But you get it back tenfold, right? So you have to invest in yourself to get more out of life. Because then you could create more in life and help more people. That's how you make money. But yeah, I mean, right now is the easy money. This is when retards, make easy money. And that's what everyone wants, right? To get lucky. While all this hot money's flying all over the place, trillions and trillions. And I'm telling you, you just have to be patient. You have to be in the right things before they take off. And a lot of people who are on the fence, let's say joining the private group, they're gonna get in when I'm gonna start showing you guys crazy rallies from our group and this and that. But by then again, I have to go back to what I was showing you earlier. You want to get in before the big moves, not later, because that's when you miss out. All right, so I think that covered everything. That's about it. Share my videos. It's the only way my channel grows because I'm suppressed. Leave anything in the comments section. Join the free links below. Join the private group. I'm gonna start doing more videos. I think I think I'm gonna be super busy this spring and summer with mining stocks and commodity stocks and energy. So we're gonna have to really pay attention and take advantage of it while we can, right? All right, guys. Till next time.